The distress beacon pulsed weakly from the crashed training vessel, its signal barely penetrating the atmosphere of the uncharted world. Day 30 of what was supposed to be a controlled survival exercise had become a genuine test of endurance for the Galactic Academy's most promising students. Elif wiped the sweat from her brow as she knelt in the rich, dark soil she'd spent 2 weeks preparing. Around her, neat rows of sprouting vegetables pushed through the earth: lettuce, tomatoes, beans, and carrots. The makeshift irrigation system she'd constructed from salvaged ship parts gurgled contentedly, channeling water from the nearby stream to her expanding garden. Elif, the Zytherian delegation is complaining again, Adam called from the greenhouse she'd built using transparent hull fragments and twisted metal supports. He emerged carrying a basket of fresh produce, his face split by an amused grin. They're saying your farming is unnecessarily optimistic and a waste of valuable calories. Elif stood, stretching her back. Through the clearing, she could see the other survivors huddled around their emergency shelter. A dozen species from across the galaxy, all waiting. Always waiting. Waiting for rescue that should have arrived 29 days ago. Let them complain, she said, accepting a ripe tomato from Adam's basket and biting into it. The juice ran down her chin and she smiled. How's the fish trap working? 3 more today. The Aquarians think we're insane for not just eating the emergency rations. Adam gestured toward the stream where he'd constructed an ingenious weir system. They've calculated that rescue will arrive in approximately 48 hours based on standard protocol. They calculated that 28 days ago too, Elif reminded him. She surveyed her domain, no longer just a crash site but a thriving homestead. The chicken coop Adam had built housed 6 birds they'd domesticated from local fauna. The solar stills produced clean water. The root cellar kept their harvest cool. The other survivors had spent 30 days in survival mode, rationing, conserving, enduring. Elif and Adam had spent 30 days living. Commander Vexoth, the Calteron mission leader, approached with his characteristic 4-legged gait. His translator clicked to life. Humans, the Council requests your presence. We are voting on whether to begin consuming the emergency seed bank. Elif's eyes flashed. Absolutely not. We may starve before rescue. You won't starve, Adam interrupted, gesturing at the farm. We're producing more than enough food for everyone. Have been for a week now. Vexoth's mandibles twitched in what might have been confusion or irritation. You are producing unnecessary surplus. The psychological strain of this prolonged survival situation. What psychological strain? Elif asked genuinely. Adam and I are having the time of our lives. It was true. While the other species had spiraled into anxiety, depression, and despair, the 2 humans had thrown themselves into building something lasting. It was in their nature, this stubborn refusal to merely survive when they could thrive instead. That evening, Elif prepared dinner for the entire group over the fire pit Adam had engineered with proper airflow and a rotating spit. Grilled fish, roasted vegetables, fresh bread made from grain she'd cultivated from fast-growing native grasses. The other survivors ate mechanically at first, then with increasing enthusiasm. How did you know the grain was edible? Asked Lisa, a cautious Batarian whose species never consumed anything not extensively tested. Tested it systematically, Elif explained, pulling more bread from the clay oven. Small doses, waited for reactions, studied which animals ate what. Basic field biology. But that's so risky, Lisa whispered. Adam laughed. Our ancestors survived ice ages, droughts, and predators that made the things on this planet look like puppies. Humanity's whole evolutionary history is just a long story of, let's try eating this and see what happens. On day 35, a supply drop arrived, but not rescue. The automated cargo pod contained a message. Rescue delayed due to political complications. Estimated arrival, unknown. While the other species fell into renewed despair, Elif studied the pod's components. Adam, help me break this down. The power cells could run electric fencing, and I've been wanting to expand the farming operation to the southern field. By day 50, the crash site had been transformed. The humans had cultivated 3 acres of productive farmland. They'd domesticated 6 species of local animals. They'd built permanent structures. A longhouse with separate sleeping quarters, a workshop, a proper kitchen. They'd even started brewing something that resembled beer from fermented grain. The other survivors, initially resistant, had slowly joined in. The Zetherians proved excellent at precision planting. The Aquarians' swimming ability made them perfect for managing the expanded fish traps. Even Commander Vexoth found satisfaction in construction work. When the rescue ship finally arrived on day 73, its crew found not desperate survivors clinging to life, but a thriving settlement complete with surplus food stores and comfortable housing. Captain Jarina, a decorated officer, stood speechless at the farm's edge. We expected this was supposed to be a disaster recovery. Elif looked up from where she was training a Zetherian student in crop rotation techniques. Disaster? Captain, we're 6 weeks ahead of schedule on the harvest. Adam's got a water wheel almost operational. We were actually discussing whether to stay until next season. The captain's translator struggled with several conflicting emotion indicators. The galactic survival protocols state, "With respect, Captain," Adam interjected, walking up with fresh vegetables. "Your protocols assume survival is about waiting for rescue. Humans don't wait well. We build." As the rescue ship prepared to depart, many of the survivors looked back at the settlement with something like regret. They'd arrived as pampered students from advanced civilizations. They were leaving as farmers, builders, and pioneers. Lessons learned from two humans who refused to accept that survival meant merely not dying. Commander Vexoth approached Elif one final time. "I believe I understand now why humans are classified as a death world species. It is not because you survive harsh conditions. It is because you make harsh conditions into home." Elif smiled, pressing a bag of seeds into his claws. "Every place is home if you're willing to work for it, Commander. That's not a human thing, that's just common sense." As the ship lifted off, Adam nudged her. "Think they'll believe us back at the academy?" Elif watched the settlement disappear below, already envisioning the next challenge. "Probably not, but that's okay. Next time they'll just signal for rescue faster. Or," Adam grinned, "they'll strand us somewhere even better." Elif laughed. "One can only hope." The end.